Hey guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a return to subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to talk about something, in reference to survivors of abuse, namely of the SA category. Now, I didn't talk before, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to, drag this on about how I think a lot of the stuff in America we've lost track of. One of those things is maintaining the safety and well-being of our citizens in this country. I just seen the story and it just took my breath away. Now this story's out of Lansing, Michigan, the capital of Michigan, where they had a bill to be passed, Justice for Sexual Abuse Survivors. They had a package in which they would it would protect the rights of sexual abuse survivors, and it would also be a package to help them get on their feet after processing what was done to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this bill failed to get a vote prior to the new year. So I guess they're gonna have to wait another year to go through this. It seems like they don't care. It's like other things are more important than abuse survivors, being sexual or domestic abuse. It makes no sense. Now this is just Michigan, but this goes back to what I say. People will pick money over people all the time, and they'll also pick their own selfish agendas over the well-being of citizens in the United States. That's a damn shame. Take a look at this.
What happens next? That's the question local sexual assault support groups are asking after a set of bills supporting survivors was not signed into law before the end of the year.
Now their future is unclear. News 8's Byron Tollefson with reaction from a local advocate.
YWCA West Central Michigan supports domestic violence and sexual abuse survivors. Their CEO says these bills would have been critical for survivors in their healing journeys, and she's wondering why politics got in the way.
It's just unfortunate that we find ourselves in that 11th hour where the stakes are so high for survivors that their lives, their health and well-being got caught up in a legislative process.
Charisse Mitchell, the CEO of YWCA West Central Michigan, says sexual assault survivors relived their trauma as they shared their stories in front of lawmakers in Lansing, all in the hopes of getting the Justice for Survivors package passed. But even though it overwhelmingly passed the Senate in a bipartisan vote, because of legislative gridlock and stagnation in Lansing last month, it never got a vote in the House.
The fact that we missed that opportunity and may have to start this process all over again and tell survivors, well, tell us your story one more time. Relive that trauma one more time. You shouldn't have to do that.
The bills would have extended the civil statute of limitations for sexual assault survivors up to 10 years after the incident, or 7 years after someone realizes they were assaulted, or their 52nd birthday, whichever is latest, giving survivors more time to come forward when they've processed what's happened.
The trauma of sexual abuse, particularly for people who have suffered abuse as children, really sometimes doesn't come to light and really doesn't get to a place of understanding until you're an adult, when you've had an opportunity to seek therapy.
The legislation would have also opened up a 1-year window for survivors to sue for damages, even if the statute of limitations has closed. And also, it would have eliminated the civil statute of limitations entirely when there's a criminal conviction.
You want to have a justice system, a community system that allows and participates in that healing for you.
Now, with divided government back in Lansing, the legislation's future is unclear. But because it had bipartisan support, Mitchell remains hopeful.
This is the year, 2025 should be the year that we finally say all of your hard work, all of your suffering, all of the narrative that you have shared were not in vain.
In Grand Rapids, Byron Tollefson, News 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a goddamn shame. It is. I told you before, it don't affect people until it affects people. I'm sure them lawmakers up there didn't even look twice at this. They put it on the bill and had people hoping, wishful thinking, didn't even secure a vote. See that? Don't even matter. People don't matter. More pressing issues. That right there should have been solved by February if it was presented last year. That right there is big. What did it say? Extend civil statute of limitations up to 10 years after the incident. You understand what I'm saying? So if somebody's 8 years old and been a victim of abuse of a sexual nature, it gives them time to come out and say something when they turn 18. There are a lot of people out here that suffer in silence, not just children, but other people too. You know what I'm saying? Says up to 7 years after survivor realizes that they were a victim of a crime. That lady said, yeah, a lot of times kids get older and then they process what happened and realize something was done to them. You know, and then when they want to do something about it, it's like they can't do anything about it. This right here said, or the survivor's 52nd birthday, which I don't understand. You know, I don't understand why they would pick the 52nd birthday, but I mean, I didn't read the whole thing. But honestly, man, this should have been tended to. You know what I'm saying? It should at least been looked at. That's the thing. It's like certain things like this where it gives care packages for people that were messed up. See, this is the thing about this. Sexual abuse is not just the physical. It's the mental aspect. A lot of people that are out here sexually abusing people right now are people that were sexually abused themselves and didn't know it was wrong, or if they did, they didn't know where to go or what outlets they could turn to. And it's like, you know, I already talk about how people be out here touching kids or just people indiscriminately for their own sexual enjoyment, not caring about how it has, what the effect it has on the well-being of a person, whether they're a child or not. That right there should have been passed. Seemed like a fair bill. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why they didn't even look at it. They didn't even look at the shit. And it's up in the nation capital. Didn't even secure a vote. We didn't even get a chance to get to it. How is that at the bottom of the list? What was more important than something like that that needed to be talked about? And there's people in there that, you know, in that state of Michigan, shout out Michigan, that was looking forward to this, so where they could make their voices known and come out and say something about a crime as they were victimized themselves. Mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? This is absolutely mind blowing. But it's just the world we live in now. Like I told you, things don't affect people until they affect them. I'm more than sure most of them people in there, or if not all of those people that are in there that are lawmakers and can pass this bill, ain't none of them have been touched or had somebody close to them touched. So they don't give a shit. Seriously, picking money over people again. They sit in those nice shiny leather things with the little wooden hammers and bang the things on where the money could go, roads and new project ventures and shit like that, while normal people suffer. What kind of country don't look out for the well-being of its own damn people, especially children and women? Think about that. It's a man's world. Let's keep it real. A lot of feminists don't want to admit that, but it's a man's world. We're the strongest species, and a lot of the stuff that's established was done through men from the beginning of time all the way up to now. Now, women have helped. But I mean, come on, man. At what time, at what point do we really sit back and self-reflect that we're put in this position to do some good and have the authority to do it? This is a slap in the face, man, to anybody that's ever been a victim in the state of Michigan that was to come forward and tell their story and have their wrong righted. But you agree or disagree? This is hurtful to even have this even make the news. Yeah, Christmas time coming. What is this? We'll get to it next year. Don't worry about it. Yeah, New Year's coming. Yeah, boom. Now there's shit in the news. They'll come with some political jargon. Oh, well, you know, we had a lot of things on our plate, and, you know, we'll review it next year. And then by that time, people have done forgot about it, unless they bring it up again, because it'll be replaced by something else, or something else where money wants to be allocated to make more money and put money in the politician pockets that's sitting up there that don't give a fuck about women, children, or kids. Women and kids. You know what I'm saying? Or men. Shit, sometimes this should be happening to men, and men don't want to say nothing. Because you know how society is, you look weak as a man if you come out and say somebody did something bad to you. But either way, man, this is messed up. This whole country need an overhaul, man. You can't even look out for those that been victimized, but you represent law and order. The fuck out of here. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.